Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Bombali in Sierra Leone. Now, this was a region that I did not find too much information about. Really tried to comb and look and find what I can, so that's what I'm going to deliver to you tonight. So, if you need more Sierra Leone content, I'll be sure to link the Sierra Leone playlist right up there. I've done a couple videos about Sierra Leone where you can learn a lot more about this neat country. I'd highly recommend that. So, Bombali is actually pretty lush and beautiful. There's some wild, jungly parts. There's some plains, some farmlands, and a big city as well. We have Makeni, which is the largest city in northern Sierra Leone. At least that's what I've read. I'm not sure if this is north. This is north. I guess this is north, right? I guess if you divided the country in half, you'd have north and south. So I suppose so. Very busy, bustling city there. This city is a cultural home of the Temne. There's a couple of landmarks here that are very important to Temne culture. One of them being a cotton tree, the middle of the town, which is where lots of chieftains would converge and have meetings. It would later become a slave trading area, which is really sad. But there's a mountain nearby called Usum Mountain. I believe it's pronounced Usum Mountain, which is the home of a Temne deity. That's pretty neat. Most Temne people are Muslim. There are Christians, but most are Muslim. But they kind of infuse a lot of their traditional, cultural aspects into it. The Temne people moved into this part of Sierra Leone during the 15th century due to the Fula Jihad. So the Fula or Fulani, which are an important ethnic group here in Sierra Leone as well, just the Temne is the largest. They are Muslim. And during the height of the Mali Empire, they were conquering and driving out people who weren't Muslim or in their minds weren't Muslim enough, and that included the Temne, so they fled here. The only other facts I read about this part of Sierra Leone are kind of sad. One of them being, of course, about the civil war that was fought in Sierra Leone between 1991 and 2002. This city suffered pretty badly. It was a rebel base during the Civil War, probably because of the proximity to the capital city. You can see over there, Freetown. So many people lost their lives here. Many aspects of the town were destroyed during that time. But that war is long gone, thankfully. Sierra Leone's very much on the up and up from that. The only other thing I found about Bombali was in 2018, a new strain of Ebola virus was discovered here in the bats. They call it the Bombali virus. Ebola is no joke. It is today treatable and curable, but the rates of that are still pretty low. It's a pretty devastating virus if you don't catch it quick enough. It's a bad time, let's just put it that way. So yeah, even though Sierra Leone, like I said, is on the up and up, it's not like a huge thriving metropolis, right? It's still very quaint. It's still very rural, things like that. But Makeni is pretty bustling nowadays. It's really sad because There are some interesting slideshows here, but like 95% of them are people taking selfies in front of the thing I'd want to show you. Like there's a beautiful, cool clock tower here in McKinney. It's very like 70s. It's very, I can't describe it. It looks like, I bet you it was built in the 70s. It looks very 70s. But all the photos there are just people taking selfies in front of it. And I just want to show you the clock tower, So unfortunately I don't have any Google Earth photos to show you. My neighbors just rolled up in their car. Can you hear it? It's so loud. It's an old car. And they do that, and oh my gosh, it's so loud. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. Instead of Google Earth, I'm going to read to you a story about a former resident from McKinney named Michaela DePrince. And I'm going to tell you her life story as she was adopted during the Civil War, moved to America, and became a prima ballerina. The book's really fun. Let me show you. Do I have it? I have it right here. I'm going to read it to you in a very slow, soft whisper, so be sure to enjoy that. This book is fun because I actually did ballet for about, like 20 years of my life. I was too tall to do it professionally, so I taught, and I would teach little young girls, age 3, and boys. I taught a lot of boys. I taught little children, mostly girls, ages 3 and up until about age 10 or so. So this book kind of brought me back to that. So my neighbor wants to be sitting in their loud car running their motor, so why don't I hop over to the book and I'll show you her incredible story. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, neighbor's car. They sit and run the motor for like 10 minutes at a time, talking on the phone in the car. And like, no shade, but it's so loud because their car's so old. Anyway, good night. Enjoy the story. Good night, 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 good night. Ballerina Dreams, From Orphan to Dancer by Michaela and Elaine DePrince. Chapter 1, The Ballerina. It is a chilly night in December. I stand backstage wearing leg warmers and a sweatshirt, but I'm still shivering. 5 minutes, Michaela, I hear. It's time for me to dance. I stretch my legs and point my toes to get them ready. I check my tiara to make sure it's not loose and fluff out my pink tutu. The knots in my point shoe ribbons are tied nice and tight. I wouldn't want them to slip off during the performance. I peek through the stage curtains and see the eager faces of the audience. They are waiting for the ballerina to appear. The music begins and my heart beats fast with excitement. I fly onto the stage. I am the ballerina. Chapter 2, The Orphan Girl. Long before I became a ballerina, I was an orphan in Sierra Leone, a country in Western Africa. My parents died there in the ongoing war. I was sent to an orphanage where children without parents live. There were 27 children in the orphanage, but I was the only one with a condition called vitiligo. The vitiligo made some of my skin lose its color. I have white spots on my brown skin. Some of the
children laughed at my spots. They called me names, and I often felt sad. One girl never laughed at me. Her name was Mia, and she became my best friend. We shared a grass mat to sleep on at bedtime. We shared our rice at mealtime. Mia sang to me and told me stories. I taught Mia how to play new games. Sometimes I would miss my parents very much, but I would not cry in front of the other children. Instead, I would sit at the orphanage gate alone and let my tears flow. One windy day, a magazine blew down the road in front of the gate. I reached out and caught it. A pretty picture of a woman was on the front cover of the magazine. She wore a short pink dress that stuck out around her in a circle. She had pink shoes on her feet and stood on the tips of her toes. She looked very happy. I want to be happy and beautiful like you someday, I said to the woman in the picture as I wiped away my tears. I showed the picture to Mia, and then I folded it and hid it in my clothes. I didn't want anybody to take it away from me. The next day I showed my teacher the picture. Who is this woman? What is she doing? Why is she wearing these strange pink clothes? I asked teacher Sarah. This woman is a famous ballerina. She is wearing a tutu and pointe shoes because she is dancing ballet, teacher Sarah explained. Do you think that I can be a ballerina like her someday? I asked. You can become a ballerina too if you take lessons for many years, if you work hard, and if you practice every day. Whoa, so many ifs. If I can take lessons, I will work hard. I will practice every day, I exclaimed. I want to become a ballerina. Chapter 3, Getting Adopted. One night, Papa Andrew, the director of the orphanage, told all of us, it is time to leave Sierra Leone. We must go to a country where there is no war. There you will meet the families who will adopt you and take you to live in America. We traveled on foot with Papa Andrew, walking over the mountains and through the jungle. At night, the sounds of the jungle terrified us. We slept close together, trembling with fear. Mia sang to me to help me feel better, and I played hand-clapping games with her. Finally, we reached safety, and Papa Andrew took us to meet our new mothers and fathers. I held Mia's hand. My knees began to shake, and my heart began to pound. What if I never saw Mia again? I worried that my new parents wouldn't like my spots. I worried that they would not let me dance ballet. A woman with hair the color of daisies opened her arms and hugged Mia. I was happy that Mia had a new mother, but felt sad that we wouldn't live together anymore. But then the lady pulled me into her arms too. Mia and I were going to live together. This woman was our new mama. My best friend and I would be sisters. Then I did cry. I cried tears of joy. Our new mama had a lot of presents for my sister and me. Mia loved the sneakers with lights on the bottom. I searched through my mother's bags, but I could not find pink shoes for dancing ballet. My mother wanted to know what I was looking for. I could not remember the English words that teacher Sarah had taught me. Instead, I showed my mother the picture of the ballerina, and I danced around on my toes. My mama understood. She knelt down and said to me, "In America, you will dance ballet." Chapter 4, My New Life. In America, we had food, warm clothes, and lots of love. Mia and I went to many fun places with our parents and our new brothers. One day, Mama took us to a store. There, I found a video with ballerinas on the box. "Mama," I cried out with excitement, "I found a ballet movie." The movie was The Nutcracker, performed by the New York City Ballet. Mama bought it. That night, Mia and I watched the video until we fell asleep. The next morning, we woke up and watched it again. We tried to copy the dancers. I loved to pretend I was the sugar plum fairy. I dreamed of the day I would dance on stage in the real Nutcracker. Soon I would know enough English to take ballet lessons. Chapter 5, Ballet Lessons. "Wake up, Michaela. Wake up, Mia. Today is the day of your first ballet lesson," Mama called one Saturday morning. My eyes popped open and I leaped out of bed. In ballet class, our teacher explained to the students that all ballet words are French. She said that is because the first professional ballet company, the Paris Opera Ballet, was started in France more than 350 years ago. At the beginning of every class, we lined up and held the bar. Next, we learned how to stand in the 5 positions of ballet. Then we practiced how to hold our arms. This is called port-de-bras, which means position of the arms, our teacher explained. The teacher showed us how to tendu, which means stretched in French. I watched her carefully. When she stood in 5th position, I did too. "Stretch out your leg and point your toes," she said, as we put out our right legs. Next, she stepped onto her right foot. I did too. I looked down in surprise. I had tendued from 5th position to 2nd position. Now, our teacher said, "Bend your knees a little and straighten them again." Good. You just did a plie. I learned that plie means bent in French. Putting ballet steps together is called a combination. That day I did my first ballet combination. I felt so proud. During one class, my ballet teacher put her sweatshirt in the middle of the floor. Then she was 7.5 years old, my teacher decided that I was ready to dance on my toes. This is called dancing on point. I needed to buy special shoes to dance on point. My new point shoes were silky soft and beautiful. When I put them on my feet, I looked like the ballerina on the cover of the magazine. Now I practiced harder than before. Soon I was dancing on point on the stage. Chapter 6, My First Nutcracker. When I was 8 years old, I auditioned for the Nutcracker. I looked for black children in the party scene of the video that I owned, but I didn't see any. I worried that I would not get chosen for the Nutcracker. When I went to the audition, I danced my very best. I hoped that I would be cast as a party girl or a Polish Chanel, one of the little children who dance out from Mother Ginger's dress. At the end of the audition, the Nutcracker director gave each of us an envelope. "Do not open this until you get downstairs," he warned. My knees shook all the way down the steps. Finally, I reached the first floor and opened the envelope. When I saw the words Party Girl and Polish Chanel Girl, I thought I would faint. That year, I had a thrilling time dancing in the Nutcracker. Best of all, I decided that if I could be a black party girl and a black Polish Chanel girl, then someday I could surely be a black sugar plum fairy. Chapter 7, In Front of a Camera. One day I got a phone call from a movie producer named Bess Kargman, who wanted to make a movie about ballet. "It's a documentary," Bess explained. "I would like you to be in it, Michaela." I was shy, so at first I said, "No, thank you." Mama said, "Bess's film will give you a chance to show the world that black girls can be ballerinas. There are few professional black ballerinas. Many people have never seen a black ballerina." So I thought about what Mama said. Then I changed my mind. "Yes," I told Bess, "I would like to be in your film." Bess and her film crew followed me around with cameras. They filmed me practicing ballet and dancing in a big competition in New York City called the Youth America Grand Prix. During the competition, I injured my left ankle. It felt hot and swollen, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to dance. I decided to continue anyway, and ended up winning a scholarship to the famous Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis School of the American Ballet Theater in New York City. People all over the world saw Bess's movie, which is called First Position, and it won many important awards. Some people who saw the film wanted to know more about me. They invited me to be on television programs and featured me in magazines. They asked me questions about being a black ballerina. I was still shy, so sometimes it was hard for me to answer the questions. Then I would remember the many messages that kids everywhere sent me after they saw First Position. One girl wrote, "You are my hero." Another wrote, "I want to grow up to Messages like these made me feel brave. Maybe I could inspire other kids to study ballet, just as the woman in the magazine picture had inspired me. Chapter 8, A Dream Come True. My dream has come true. I am now a real ballerina, a professional dancer. That means I dance for a living. My favorite step is still the grand jeté. Many people call me the ballerina who flies. I have been lucky to dance wonderful roles in many different ballets. I've even danced the role of the Sugar Plum Fairy in the Nutcracker. My dancing has taken me to many countries. Sometimes I dance on grand stages. Other times I dance in small auditoriums. Once I even performed in a barn. I have danced for rich people and poor people, for all ages and races. Dancing brings me great joy. I love knowing that my dancing also brings joy to others. I have learned not to be shy. When I travel, I enjoy talking to people, especially children. Many kids ask me, how can I make my dream come true? I tell them it doesn't matter if you dream of being a doctor, a teacher, a writer, or a ballerina. Every dream begins with one step. After that, you must work hard and practice every day. If you never give up, your dream will come true. A quick about the authors. Michaela DePrince studied on scholarship at the Rock School for Dance Education and the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis School at the American Ballet Theater. Michaela is now a professional ballerina. She was named the youngest principal dancer for the Dance Theater of Harlem and is dancing with the Dutch National Ballet, one of the top classical ballet companies in the world. Michaela starred in the ballet documentary First Position, which was nominated for an NAACP Image Award. She has also appeared on Dancing with the Stars, as well as Good Morning America, Nightline, BBC News, and other news programs in the United States and internationally. In 2012, the Huffington Post named her one of their 18 under 18 HuffPost Teens list of the most amazing people of the year. You can find her online at michaeladeprince.com or on Twitter at MICHDEPRINCE. Elaine DePrince is Michaela's adoptive mother and co-author. She is the author of Cry Bloody Murder, A Tale of Tainted Blood, as well as a songwriter and owner of Sweet Mocha Music LLC, an indie record label and music publishing business. A graduate of Rutgers University and a former special education teacher, Elaine, after raising 5 sons, took a leave of absence from law school in 1999 to adopt a child from war-torn West Africa. She often says that the need was so great that she ended up with 6 West African daughters. Elaine lives in New York City with her husband and their 5